Hello guys, welcome to BBC Highlights and News. Israel-Hamas war highlights, no possibility of ceasefire until all hostages released, says Netanyahu. Israeli ground forces continued to push deeper into Gaza, carrying out strikes on targets and engaging in fighting with Hamas terrorists as hundreds of foreign nationals, including Palestinians, left the besieged strip and entered Egypt via Rafah crossing. The Biden administration has warned Israel that it was increasingly difficult for it to pursue its military goals in Gaza amid the global outcry about the aftermath of the nearly month-long war. Follow IndiaToday.in for live updates on the Israel-Hamas war. The Palestine Red Crescent Society, PRCS, asked the international community to intervene and protect civilians as well as medical teams from Israeli attacks in the Gaza Strip. This came after Israel admitted to targeting an ambulance in a medical convoy near the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City, where 15 people were killed and 60 others were injured. Israel claimed it targeted the ambulance because it was being used by Hamas. Meanwhile, the PRCS said the strikes directly hit a Ministry of Health ambulance and damaged another one belonging to PRCS, which was carrying a 35-year-old wounded woman in critical condition. U.S. officials are making intense efforts to gain the release of hostages from Hamas control in Gaza, but there is no guarantee of success or a timeframe, said a senior Biden administration official. The official, briefing reporters on condition of anonymity, said there is indirect engagement aimed at finding a framework to get hostages out of Gaza, but that the work is extremely difficult. The Honduran Foreign Ministry said on Friday it is recalling its ambassador to Israel for consultations due to what it called Israel's violations of international humanitarian law in the Gaza Strip. Israel has claimed responsibility for an attack outside Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City, where health authorities said 15 people were killed and 50 others were injured. Videos from the scene showed multiple people bloodied and strewn across the ground near an ambulance. In a statement, Israel said it targeted the ambulance because it was being used by Hamas. It said a number of Hamas fighters were killed in the strike and said it had information that Hamas used ambulances to transport fighters and weapons. External affairs ministers of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and Egypt, along with Palestinians, will meet U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Amman on Saturday, Jordan informed on Friday. External affairs ministers of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and Egypt, along with Palestinians, will meet U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Amman on Saturday, Jordan informed on Friday. Israel urged its citizens on Friday to reconsider trips abroad and to exercise extra caution if already out of the country, citing an increase of hostility toward Jews and Israelis over the present conflict with Hamas in Gaza. Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu on Friday said that there is no possibility of a ceasefire until all the hostages, who are in Hamas captivity, are released. Hezbollah chief Syed Hassan Nasrallah on Friday said that his group is prepared for sacrifices in the Israel-Hamas war. Notably, this is his first speech since the start of the war between Hamas and Israel. In his address, he said that Hamas's battle is completely Palestinian and for the Palestinian people, and has no relation to any regional issue. He also claimed that the October 7 attack led to an earthquake in Israel. A few Thai Muslim politicians held talks with Hamas in Iran, seeking hostage release, news agency Reuters reported. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Israel's Prime Minister on Friday to press American calls for a humanitarian pause in the fighting with Hamas in Gaza. The Palestinian death toll has gone up to 9,227, including 3,326 children and 2,405 women, the Hamas-controlled health ministry said on Friday. A military spokesperson from Israel on Friday said that his country will respond to every development along its northern border. He also said that Israel is very, very high at its northern border. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who arrived in Tel Aviv earlier today, is meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the State Department said, CNN reported. Blinken is scheduled to meet other senior Israeli officials. He is accompanied by the newly confirmed U.S. Ambassador to Israel Jack Lew. The Palestine Red Crescent Society said on Friday that 21 people were injured at Gaza City's Al-Quds Hospital, following Israeli airstrikes on the Tal al-Hawa neighborhood, CNN reported. White House official John Kirby said 74 U.S. citizens who were taken hostage by Hamas in Gaza have arrived on the Egyptian side, news agency ANI reported. So far, 74 U.S. citizens and family members have arrived on the Egyptian side. That's in addition to the 5 Americans who departed Gaza yesterday, Kirby said on Thursday, local time, adding, "I want to stress that these numbers are changing in real time." The Israeli military said it has eliminated a squad of Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon and damaged one of the group's infrastructure, Al Jazeera reported. The retaliation by Israel came in response to an attack carried out from the Lebanese territory towards a military post close to the border in northern Israel. An Israeli soldier and a reservist suffered injuries due to an exchange of fire and were evacuated for treatment. An air raid siren was sounded in Kisufim, the Israeli town bordering Gaza, after a lull of more than 12 hours, the Times of Israel reported. Kisufim was largely evacuated amid the war between the Israeli forces and Hamas. No reports of casualties or damage were reported. The United Arab Emirates said the risk of the spillover of the Israel-Hamas war in the Middle East was real and said the regional temperature was approaching a boiling point. Al Jazeera reported. The risk of regional spillover and further escalation is real, as well as the risk that extremist groups will take advantage of the situation to advance ideologies that will keep us locked in cycles of violence, UAE Foreign Minister Noura Al-Kabi told a policy conference in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel to see more.